Anna, Tom, what can I help you find today?
We are repainting, but our kids are tough on walls.
I totally get it. You need Valspar. It's our best paint. It'll stand up to the wildest play dates.
That is exactly what we need.
Do not hit your brother.
And you know, with the Valspar color guarantee, if you don't like the color, you get a new one free.
What?
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Change color for free?
We've been doing that for years. Hey, Val, check it out. Hey, Val.
I see you, honey.
Getting help at the paint studio at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Monday morning, where are those weekend severe thunderstorms headed next? And you can hear thunder, but now can you see it? It all starts at 5 Eastern on Wake Up with Al and 7 Eastern on AM 8.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Nutrition Smart wants you to be smart with your nutrition. Save more this month with 20% off Thursdays. That's right, get 20% off store-wide every Thursday this month. Shop the latest in organic fruits and vegetables, the largest selection of vitamins and supplements, and a variety of natural health and beauty supplies. Be smart at Nutrition Smart. Opposite side from Publix next to ABC Liquors in Palm Beach Gardens. Nutrition Smart.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is a story that we've been following here on Weekend Recharge since early this morning, those water rescues.
That's right. This is Johnson County, Texas, just south of Fort Worth, where they set down a rescue swimmer on a rope and picked these two occupants of this house, which was surrounded by floodwaters. Look at the stairs there. That's the power of the waters knocking those concrete stairs over. And the good news is both of those homeowners are now on dry land, thanks to the rescues there. I'm not quite sure what entity this was, but perhaps they were the Texas National Guard. Either way, a great job the men and women there did rescuing those homeowners.
We watched this unfold live here on the Weather Channel, and we still have high water in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Unfortunately, with more in the forecast, it is going to be a rough few days. In fact, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport reporting 21 inches of rain so far this year, 6 inches above normal, which may not sound like a lot, but considering this is an area of the country that has not seen a lot of rain because they've been in a drought for so long, it's pretty impressive.
And the scary part is a lot of that rain fell overnight.
Right.
So they went to bed, a couple of showers, they wake up, the house is surrounded, there's rushing water everywhere. And we're still seeing this concern here in central Texas. San Antonio, we've had the last couple of hours with heavy rain moving through. That's pushing eastward, but once the rain stops falling from the clouds, it still takes a while for it to filter into the rivers, so the flooding is still ongoing.
And we're hearing some road closures around San Antonio. A good reminder, if the road's closed, it's closed for a reason. Don't try and drive through high water. It never works out for anybody. You can see even on up in through Arkansas, we have some flash flood warnings there too to the west of Little Rock.
Yeah, one batch of thunderstorms came through Little Rock. Now they're rolling on towards Memphis. Memphis, literally maybe an hour and a half before you see some storms headed your way. Right now in Arkansas, Johnson, Logan, and Yell counties under a flash flood warning.
And we've got I-40 right now, one of those interstates impacted. But it's this big swirl that we expect to be, once again, the power behind the severe threat here in the Midwest today.
Yeah, plenty of upper level energy here. You can see that swirl there. And once you see the clearing, clearing. That's the concern, because the clearing with the March sun, or the May sun, not to mention we have huge amounts of energy available, not to mention it's muggy out there. The dew points in the mid-60s, which you do see from time to time, but that with the energy and the sunshine will give you some thunderstorms.
And we have Torcons out for Minneapolis, for Chicago too, St. Louis. But you can see by tomorrow morning, Minneapolis, Madison, Chicago drying out. Not so much Dallas, heads up for you, as well as Little Rock over towards Memphis.
Here's the area shaded in red, basically from the Canadian border and the UP of Michigan all the way down towards the Big Bend area of Texas. As I mentioned, we have some Torcons out. Torcons for some areas of the country that typically don't see numbers this high this time of the year.
All right, it's a 5 for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. So heads up there, 5 in 10 chance within 50 miles of that area seeing a tornado, and a 4 for eastern Missouri.
Yeah, that does include you in St. Louis as well, like 4 on the Torcon there. So here we go, Minneapolis, basically now through, say, the dinner time hours, chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, but things will quiet down once the sun goes down. So in terms of timing, this night looks much better than this afternoon.
All right, we're going to continue to talk about the severe weather with someone who's been watching it closely over the last few days. Our colleague Catherine Prosif was out in the plains chasing those thunderstorms. We'll talk with her live coming up.
Now at Boston Market, new slow braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
It's more than a network. It's how you stay connected. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you get an industry-leading broadband network and cloud and hosting services. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Just like all moms, I'm always concerned about my children's well-being. But sometimes they get sick, sometimes they get hurt. That's why I'm so grateful we have children's hospitals, because when any child needs a miracle, they'll do everything in their power to make one happen. With our support, please join me in giving sick and injured children every chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
Where kids still went to school.
And it just hit us.
This was it. The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. Keeping an eye on cities like Oklahoma City. We're right now getting a nice little reprieve, but we've been following the news coming out of the Tulsa area, for example. Potential storm damage there. We're not sure yet. The National Weather Service is out figuring out if it's a tornado or straight line wind damage. It's definitely flooding right now. Our big concern you can see from San Antonio on up into northern Arkansas.
Yeah, Broken Bow, Oklahoma, the area around that you're talking about around the Tulsa area. But again, long line of thunderstorms and heavy rain is a huge ongoing issue there. So we're definitely concerned about that and the forecast for more rain across the area. But, you know, here at the Weather Channel, we get amazing pictures in from time to time. But every now and then, you know, we have one of our own out there in the field dealing with the wonders of weather.
And following passions in the open road, right? One of our weather producers at the Weather Channel, Catherine Prosif, has been tracking this week's severe weather, and she's in Shawnee, Oklahoma this morning and joins us by phone. Catherine, it's wonderful to talk with you. So glad that you and your team are all good. And I guess first start off by telling us what you all saw out there.
Well, hey, Maria and Paul. It's great to hear your guys' voices. I'm glad to be on this morning. So we've been all over the place. I flew in on just middle of last week and started in Missouri, bit up to Iowa. And our first chase day was on Friday. And I know I've shared some pictures. Friday was absolutely incredible. From a storm chaser's perspective and just from a weather buff's perspective, we saw so many incredible things. We saw cloud-to-ground lightning. We saw a mothership supercell in northeast Colorado. It was spinning like crazy right above our heads, and large hail was dropping. It was just absolutely intense. And then that mothership eventually gusted into a shelf cloud, which steamrolled across Nebraska. It was leaving behind 70-mile-per-hour winds, large hail, out of Independence Day, rolling across the plains.
And we're looking at some of your pictures right now, Catherine.
Yeah, and Catherine, I know I talked to you on Friday. You were chasing that sail up, I think, in Goshen, Nebraska. You saw multiple funnel clouds from it. Did you see any more? Did you actually see tornadoes during this trip of yours?
I remember talking to you, Paul. That day we saw probably 2 or 3 very well-defined funnel clouds up in it was the southwest corner of Nebraska. And then yesterday we saw a few more funnel clouds in Texas. And we saw all kinds of great stuff, and I'm just glad to be out here.
And we're glad to hear from you. Be safe out there. Thank you so much for checking in with us, Catherine.
Hey, stick around. Weather Geeks comes up right after your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 75. Winds per hour. Monday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook. Weather forecast shapes so many aspects of our lives. Its ripple effect impacts every corner of the economy. It leads to transportation delays, insurance claims, and problems with crop yields. But it can also lead to sales. Weather is a huge variable for business performance and one of the largest big data challenges businesses face today.
And welcome to Weather Geeks. We are talking all about weather analytics today, and I have 2 of the biggest brains in that topic here today. We have Paul Walsh, who is the Vice President of Weather Strategy for the Weather Company. You also probably know him from Forecast Factor. That's and right. We also have Glenn Finch, the Global Leader for Big Data and Analytics with IBM, Big Blue. Thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So,
a lot of fun.
Look, I just threw out the term weather analytics. Right. I know it's Weather Geeks, but many people are out there like, what the heck is that? What is weather analytics, Paul?
Well, you know, weather has such a huge impact on all of us, and basically everybody in the globe lives their lives based on how the weather is outside, and more based on what the weather forecast is. Right. So what we're able to do now is use data, use analytics, to really understand how the weather is shaping consumer demand, how it's shaping what people are going to be needing. And with the advent of high-speed technology, the ability to grab all sorts of different data sources, we're now able to be really smart in terms of being able to interpret that, and most importantly, to be able to take action based on that.
Yeah, and I remember reading an AMS journal by Jeff Lazo and colleagues that said 3 to 4% of U.S. GDP is weather sensitive.
That's right.
This certainly makes sense. Now, Glenn, what else is involved in this sort of weather analytics other than weather data itself?
It's a great question, Marshall. You know, I mean, our mission is to try and take weather data and mash it up with other data. Right. Maybe Facebook data, maybe economics data, stuff like that. Mash it. Yeah, well, that's what we do at IBM, right? And to figure out a way to translate into actions that businesses can take.
Right.
So not just the pure forecasting of weather, but how can we use it to change behaviors in business or help customers, that kind of stuff.
Now, you were telling me a little earlier about some interesting, there's a major sort of distributor or seller of coffee products, and you were telling me some interesting things. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Whenever you're in any type of a retail environment, weather affects everything.
Right.
Where people shop, when they shop, what they want. And all I was sharing with you is that, one of our clients found that at 69 degrees Fahrenheit, people stop drinking hot drinks and start drinking cold drinks. Now that might not seem like rocket scientist to a guy from NASA, right? But what it does is it fundamentally changes how you should interact with that customer when that temperature changes, right? Don't be trying to sell hot drinks when it's hot out, thinking about selling cold drinks, right?
Now, and building on that, Paul, even some news earlier this week was about a slowdown perhaps in the economy, or maybe not as much growth.
Right.
Weather analytics, could that be used by companies to stimulate the economy or boost the economy? We just heard this example here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the ways that companies are increasingly doing that is they're becoming more proactive with weather information. And using the insights that they gain to know when the weather is going to be driving demand for something or not.
Right.
And using that insight to make sure that they have enough of the product that people are going to be needing. So we're moving now into hurricane season.
Right.
Walmart famously was out some years ago saying, we know that when a hurricane threatens, people buy strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Really?
Now, when you start doing analytics, you start gaining those sorts of insights.
Yes.
When you have those sort of insights and then you pair that with a forecast, now you know I'm going to need a lot of strawberry Pop-Tarts for this market in 2 or 3 days because Jim Cantori's on the beach talking about a hurricane.
So really as a supply chain.
Supply chain and demand chain. So there's both making sure you have the products and also that you're telling people that you have the products that they're going to need.
Now look, we have a lot of data that comes from weather satellites, from Doppler radar. Now you're adding other data sets as well in this process of weather analytics. What type of infrastructure or computing does this take? Glenn?
Yeah, so what's interesting, with the advent of the cloud, right? You've got a lot of clients that are just happy to let all the weather data kind of sit out in the cloud and they'll go get whatever they want, right? As soon as you want to start to onboard that, Paul, you were sharing 1.2 billion weather forecasts a day, right? Wow. That's what the Weather Channel does, right? If you think
Weather Channel does 1.2 billion.
Yeah. Okay. So if you've got all those forecasts, and then you take longitudinal time slices, and then you add Twitter data and Facebook data and economic data in those same time slices, you're talking about petabytes of data, right? Wow. So what we're finding from our clients is some of them want that in the cloud so that they don't have to deal with it. Others want the big computer in their premise they can put behind their firewall and make sure that nobody else touches that data, right? So it's kind of a however you want it, we want to make sure that we're there. That's why Ginny made so much investment in the cloud business to make sure that we could be where clients wanted us to be.
Now, Paul, this all
big data.
Yeah, that's definitely big data.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
And this all sounds great, and I think that we're going to get into a little bit more of how this impacts the weather community and the business community. But how do we make this happen? How do we get from sort of this weather analytics to some company actually implementing and utilizing this? What's the process?
That's a great question because that's the $1 million question, in fact, because in order to really make this work, you have to turn this information into action, and that's where this partnership with IBM and the Weather Company, for example, is so important, because to really be able to do that, you have to really understand the business, you have to really understand the processes, and you have to understand how to integrate that data in a way to make it actionable.
Yeah, and I think this is really a first step here, and I suspect there will be other partnerships as well, and other people that will be getting into this as well. So it's a critical area. One of the things that really is interesting, and I want to get into a little bit more of this with both of you after the break, is what are the impacts that this will have on meteorologists? It sounds to me like this could make meteorologists obsolete in some ways, and I want to get your thoughts on that. And I also want to, after the break, talk about how we train the next generation of weather analytic experts or meteorologists in the area. So we'll get into that a little bit after the break as well. We're going to talk about what are the implications of weather analytics on meteorologists. But first, our Geek of the Week.
Sue Altman is an earth science teacher in Atlanta, Georgia, and is our Geek of the Week. Sue loves geology and spends her summers at national parks out west, where she enjoys the hot, dry weather and stunning landscapes. And when the weather keeps her indoors, she tends to her hobby of lamp working, where she melts glass with a torch. Enjoy the summer, Sue Altman, our Geek of the Week.
Your relationship with your dog is pure. It's innocent. It's work, but it's perfect. You wouldn't trade it for the world. So protect your dog with Trifexis. Trifexis is the monthly beef-flavored tablet that prevents heartworm disease, kills fleas, and prevents infestations, and treats and controls hook, round, and whipworm infections. Treatment with fewer than 3 monthly doses after exposure to mosquitoes may not provide complete heartworm prevention. The most common adverse reactions were vomiting, depression, and itching. Serious adverse reactions have been reported following concurrent extralabel use of ivermectin with spinosad, one of the components of Trifexis. Prior to administration, dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection. You'll take it all, the good and the bad, because that's what makes your relationship irreplaceable. Protect your dog all year long with the 3-in-1 power of Trifexis, available by prescription only. Talk to your veterinarian about how to protect every second you share together.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 84. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Flour-pressed soap, homemade hot sauce, artisanal pickles, whatever those are. Well, we're glad handcrafted is finally cool. Because at Firestone Complete Auto Care, we've been handcrafting since 1926. Robots might build cars, but it takes human hands to keep them running right. And that's a guarantee, backed by our fixed right promise. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Firestone Complete Auto Care. Maintenance, repairs, tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
You should see me when I play basketball.
Oh, hey, look, it's Kevin Durant.
Hey, we're drinking your Kevin Durant signature slushes.
Can you give me one?
No.
I'll play you for him.
All right.
One-on-one?
On one?
What?
Now what are you going to do? Don't go to the left, go to the right.
Did go right.
No, not your right, my right.
What are you talking?
Ooh, we got slushed.
Oh, he got slushed.
Up your game with the new Kevin Durant Signature Candy Slush, part of our Slush headquarters. And don't forget our half-price shakes after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
Right, these should be... Oh! Gorilla Super Glue. Of course.
Gorilla Super Glue's rubber-toughened formula holds after repeated drops and bumps.
Oh, thanks.
Gorilla Super Glue, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
And welcome back to Weather Geeks, and we are talking all about weather analytics. And you just heard some really interesting things in the first segment on how we can utilize weather information and data to make decisions and to help businesses. But one of the things that concerns me as a meteorologist is with all this automation and sort of the point from data to decision, are we making the meteorologist obsolete, the hands-on forecaster?
Absolutely not. In fact, I think this opens up all sorts of new opportunities for meteorologists, because at heart, meteorologists are data scientists. And the training that meteorologists get at schools like your school is exactly what businesses need. They need people that understand the science, understand meteorology, are really good at math and physics, and really importantly, can communicate. And my experience over the last 15 years is that some of the best scientists I ever worked with were meteorologists who then learned business. It's easier to teach a meteorologist business than to teach a business person meteorology.
And Glenn, you were saying that there are implications on the big data and analytics side too for professionals.
Yeah, you know, for the last 3, 4, 5 decades, you know, analytics has been about inferring things that we don't know from the things that we do.
Right.
Meteorology, weather, gives us this corpus of stuff to know. Now we have to be courageous enough to put 3, 4, 5 decades of stuff away and start allowing ourselves to know things and trust that it's okay to know them instead of inferring them.
Right.
That's a who moved the cheese kind of moment for people, right? I mean, so, it's a big unnatural
So we're
act.
planting new flags here, but one of the things that's still a challenge in forecasting and in weather, and Paul, I'm going to come to you on this, is still the uncertainty and risk in forecast. Now, how does that get translated into these business decisions from a weather analytics perspective?
Well, to the extent that you can automate decisions and that you can factor probability into those decisions, you can start to scale the decisions, test the decisions, and then tweak those decisions based on the outcomes. I think for a lot of people that are interested in meteorology, the weather geeks out there, or people that are studying meteorology, huge opportunities for them, but they need to, I think differently in terms of what they'll be doing in the future, because they won't be like, I know I started out writing TAFs, terminal aerodrome forecasts, and taking weather observations. There'll be less and less of that.
Yeah.
The real opportunity is going to be working with, you know, folks like IBM and working with large companies to help them understand the data and understand better how to integrate the data.
Now, is this just the game that private companies can play, or is there a role in federal government, NASA, NOAA, EPA, or even academia? Glenn.
It's a great question. You know, while, you know, we cited the retail example, right? If you think about all of the things that state, local, federal governments need to do with and about weather, early warning systems, getting people, you know, out of perilous situations, stuff like that. And you start to think about matching weather data with Twitter to notify people. You know, there's folks in Asia that rely on weather and Twitter to warn the entire populations about tsunamis and typhoons, right? They skip all the infrastructure because they don't have it, and they say, how can I use data to save lives, right? That's the cool part of being at this intersection of data and weather, right?
But look, I'm a university guy. How do I take I'm the director of a program at a major university. How do I design a curriculum for this new world that I hear we're entering? And you say maybe the meteorologist already has those skills, or I mean, but it seems like we need to put something else in there too. Okay, well, after the break, I want to get more and follow up on that.
That's a great question.
But we're going to play a game after the break. We're going to actually get into some of the examples of how weather analytics is used, and maybe I'll get the answer to that question next as well on Weather Geeks.
It's called Mother Nature for a reason. A nurturing spirit lives within every woman. At Mahindra, we strive to brighten the future for girls with a passion for agriculture. So thank you to the mothers and fathers of America for sharing the wonder of God's great outdoors. Today's future farmers are tomorrow's stewards of the land we care for.
The world's #1 selling tractor. Visit MahindraUSA.com.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage, or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
Olive Garden's all-new duos are here, but not for long, starting at $11.99. Our most craveable classics like chicken parmesan paired with new tastes to explore, all served with unlimited salad and breadsticks. 4 all-new duos starting at $11.99 at Olive Garden.
Hi. Looking for a Prius, I bet. It's high-tech, too, with the latest safety features and available Entune app suite. And, I'm sorry, I don't mean to drone on.
Honey, stop messing with Jan.
During Toyota time, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a 2015 Prius. Offer ends June 1st. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Enjoy your Prius.
Thanks, Jan.
Look out, people coming in hot.
Toyota, let's go places.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right. This is my one shot.
I have made fire! Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
What does it mean to just believe? It means to live your life again, to be yourself again, to start recovering from your addiction with the help of people who have been there before and who know what you're going through. So if you're struggling with alcohol or drug addiction, don't wait another minute. Just believe. Call Just Believe Recovery today at 1-855-726-6112.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
We had kids still into school.
And it just hit us.
This was it.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 84. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Back talking about weather analytics, and I have 2 experts here, and I couldn't let them get away without just getting into some of the details of how this is actually used. Now, I've got some stats here that says insurers pay some $2 billion in claims every year for vehicles damaged by hail.
Right.
How could analytics sort of play into that, and could it actually have implications for insurance rates?
A quick example, and this is something that we're actually doing now with the weather company. So we're mining Doppler weather radar data. We've got applications that insurers then give to their customers, and we're able to tell them based on the Doppler weather radar and the trajectory of where a storm is going if their car or their house is about to get hit by large hail, so they can run out and put their car in the garage.
Ah, okay.
So what that does is it avoids a loss, which is a benefit for the insurer. It's also a benefit for the insured, and they love their company for warning of that. So it's a win-win all around, and it's leveraging data and science and all the work that has gone into developing these amazing technologies.
Now let's continue with our game here. Glenn, did you know that according to Climate Central for utilities, weather drives 90% of the variability in energy demand? I think that's kind of intuitive to most people, and caused 80% of all outages between 2003 and 2012. Give us an example of how weather analytics could actually help people with their energy bills, or even companies for that matter.
Yeah, so I think you probably saw that, when we announced this partnership, Ginny also made a $4 billion commitment to the Internet of Things, right? And that whole intersection of making sure that we can take this data and affect, where you're going to put solar, where you're going to put wind, how you're going to help people change, rates of electricity during peak periods, stuff like that. That's all tied into that Internet of Things play, right? And so, looking at the grid, predicting using predictive asset optimization, where a transformer might blow or stuff like that. That's what our whole mission is in this, elision of the weather data and the Internet of Things data.
Yeah, and how is that for Weather Geek? Whatever the word he used with optimization, that really is perfect for Weather Geeks here. I love it. What about this, did you know? An estimated 50 million people are allergy sufferers, and I have several in my house, and me included, and 88% of them correctly attribute their symptoms to weather. How will weather analytics help in this? So we're actually getting into health now. It's not just sort of business health. Paul, any thoughts here?
So yeah, on the allergy side, of course, we're doing a lot of that work now with the weather company, the Weather Channel, working with large companies that provide those kind of medicines, by alerting people when the pollen levels are going to be to a level that is going to trigger their allergies, so that they can be prepared with their medicine. There's all sorts of different health outcomes that can be adjusted. In the UK, they were doing this with something called COPD, where they were alerting people when the weather conditions were going to trigger their COPD, so that they would make sure they had the medicine. They would give them advance warning before those happen. So it's another example of how this kind of information becomes really, really useful. Does deal with the weather conditions, and the climate is changing. And so we need these sort of resilient technologies.
Yeah, and again, we're focusing on the partnership here, obviously, between IBM and the weather company, but I imagine others are going to definitely get in this game at some point, and so want to make sure we know that this is an emerging area. Anything that has surprised you as you've been in this business?
Yeah, probably the greatest surprise for me is the amount of change management that is involved in all this.
Now, what do you really mean by that for the Weather Geek viewer here that doesn't have an MBA?
Yeah, thank you. So what I'm talking about is that...
You've got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, for in data and analytics, if you've been doing something one way and you got to do it another way, that's hard.
Right. Yes.
Right? And really getting in front of that and making sure that people could take advantage of all that stuff you just described about. Move your car, right? Yeah. That's hard. The personal side of this is as hard as the science side.
All right.
In some cases harder.
And you would agree with that. And that's where we have to end it. Thank you so much. And we would love to hear your thoughts as usual on Weather Geeks. You can find us on our Twitter site, and we also have a Facebook page. Continue to join us on Weather Geeks.
When you're waiting for summer, every second feels like an eternity. So when it finally arrives, make every second count on a Sea-Doo watercraft. With 14 models to choose from and starting at just $49.99, there's a Sea-Doo that's right for you. At the Countdown to Summer sales event, get up to a 5-year warranty or save up to $1,000. But hurry, this offer ends May 31st. Go to Sea-Doo.com or your local dealer for details.
1 can of Bush's beans. Well, this is a predicament. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? Not this guy. New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here. No rules on aisle 4.
Our new sweet heat is cooked according to our secret family recipe with a sweet and spicy chili sauce.
Did you get a can of Bush's beans?
Yes, I did.
Bush's Beans. What's your favorite flavor?
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once a week Tanzium is right for you. Once a week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once a week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of a serious allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Before using Tanzium, talk to your doctor about your medical conditions, all medicines you're taking, if you're nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, and about low blood sugar and how to manage it. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once a week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
With kids still in school.
And it just hit us.
This was it. The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 84. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
Real local.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas.
Real accurate.
This one's going to have some precipitation with it.
Real experts.
Wow, that's the leading edge of the thunderstorm. This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
In this episode of Lava Chasers, a pair of intrepid photographers search for fresh lava.
You can already smell your shoes melting a little bit.
Old underground magma tunnels prove a hazard for workmen.
There have been people killed falling into huge tubes.
And a bizarre ancient ritual in praise of the volcano god is being brought back to life.
You don't want something like that impaling your body.
Volcanoes are planet Earth's most powerful force. Breathtakingly beautiful, yet devastatingly deadly. Shaking the world, changing the weather, and burning the land. But for some, lava's lure is irresistible. Instead of running, there are those who seek out close encounters with Hawaii's molten rock. These intrepid few are the lava chasers. Nestling in the middle of the Pacific Ocean is the island chain of Hawaii. The islands boast 5 active volcanoes, one of which, Kilauea, has been spewing fire and molten rock continuously for the last 30 years, attracting lava lovers from around the world.
I photograph the active flows. No matter where they are, I hike there.
Brian Lowry is a Hawaii-based photographer who has devoted his career to capturing stunning shots of molten lava. Originally from Michigan, 52-year-old Brian has been on an extraordinary life journey. Born with severe disabilities, it was thought that Brian would never be able to walk at all, let alone hike for hours across treacherous volcanic terrain.
When I was born with club feet kind of almost backwards, wore braces for quite a few years. But the funny thing is, wearing the braces as a kid, it made my legs really strong.
It's midnight, and Brian's packing for his next hike out to the lava flow. He'll be taking with him English photographer Jimmy Reynolds, a first-timer when it comes to lava.
It's been a dream of mine to go out there and actually find lava flows to time-lapse.
We never know what we're going to see, so we need to get going.
Brian and Jimmy are heading out onto the eastern rift zone of Kilauea. Lava's been flowing on these slopes continuously since 1983. To get there by dawn, the guys will have to hike all night. The paved road ends abruptly. From now on, they'll be walking on old lava flows. This uneven terrain stretches for miles.
Okay, we're gonna cross this tumulus, so watch your step.
Oh yeah.
This is the most common cause of injury out here. People fall in, break their legs, arms, they even get wedged in there and stuck. Okay, we're getting close to the lava flow now.
After trekking for 5 hours, a glow on the horizon tells them that they've found what they're looking for. With just half an hour till sunrise, they need to quickly prep their equipment if they're to capture their dawn lava shots.
Ooh, I can feel the heat.
Nice and warm, too.
You can hear it crackling.
It's a steep learning curve for Jimmy. Working next to the 2,000 degrees molten lava is fraught with risk. Both the photographer and his equipment are in danger.
Obviously, I've never been this close to molten lava with my camera, but I guess...
You can get as close as you can stand the heat.
Right.
It's basically like a built-in safety system.
Over on the famed north shore of Oahu, fascination with volcanoes takes a different form. Tom Pohaku Stone is a proud Hawaiian who is keeping alive the customs and practices of his forefathers. Traditional Hawaiian culture is inextricably linked to the island's volcanoes.
Volcanic eruptions actually provide the life that we need for where we live. It's our spirit.
In old Hawaiian mythology, all eruptions here are the work of volcano goddess Pele. For centuries, Hawaiian people have honored her. Warriors used to ride down old lava flows on narrow wooden sleds called papahuloa to prove their mettle. Today, Tom Stone still crafts these traditional 12-foot-long sleds. By lashing together wooden struts with yarn, he's on a mission to bring the ancient and dangerous ritual of hehehuloa back to life.
It's your willingness to actually put yourself in danger. It's sort of like a self-sacrifice.
But he needs to make sure that his workmanship is up to scratch.
If this should break, the lashing should break and it come apart, it's guaranteed you're going to be impaled.
Lava here in Hawaii can impact on people's lives in surprising ways. Back on the Big Island, a team of workers is clearing a 2-acre plot for a new house build. on the Orchid Lands Estates. Sheldon and Bud have been working the land here for decades. While driving their 100-ton bulldozer, they need to be on a constant lookout for lava tubes.
A lava tube is a hole in the ground that's formed when the lava's flowing, the roof actually hardens over on top and the lava continues to flow underground. And quite often when the lava stops flowing at the source, it just all flows out at the end and leaves this beautiful tube-like system.
Lava tubes make clearing land a hazardous business. The ground can give way beneath you at any moment.
We know it's an area where there's a good possibility of lava tubes, and so I was walking ahead of Bud today just as a safety to really make sure that he doesn't fall into anything.
Sheldon knows the telltale signs when a dozer is over a lava tube.
I've seen trees just start rocking, and I know I'm too close to a tube at that point, and we'll get off and try and locate it and figure out where it runs so that we don't end up in it.
Today it proves to be a good job that Sheldon has got his eyes and ears open.
I just happened to notice a small hole. I got Bud's attention by waving at him. There's a really loose spot on the other side here. I know you've been over it once, but it looks like it's going to collapse. He mentioned at the time that he could actually feel the ground shaking as well. So we know we were fairly close to it and maybe even over part of the tube. That's opened up into a hole, and it looks like it goes a long ways down. If you look down in here, this goes clear down, see, and it's so intertwined in the brush here that he would never see it from the dozer. Bud knows he's fallen in a hole before, and most guys that have done that won't even doze anymore.
It was 20 years ago that Bud had this terrifying experience.
I was bulldozing a lot, and the roof of the lava tube, which was about 10 feet thick, and it caved in.
Sheldon doesn't want to see